Hi guys, welcome to the world is your bowl of noodles, slurp noodles and chat. I am the host Jordan Ibukwe, and today we have a very special guest who is from Gambia, but right now currently in Nigeria. Can you please give it up for Salimatou Fati, who is a humanitarian and the founder of the Salimatou Foundation, which is a charitable foundation that fights for quality education in Gambia. Please give her a round of applause. She's absolutely incredible. And just thank you so much for being on the show. And let's get into it.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here. It has been forever since we actually planned this interview, so I'm glad that we are making it happen. And I'm glad that I'm in Nigeria, I'm having it. But yeah, just in Nigeria just for a short trip. Glad
Yes.
to be here.
Thank you so much. Let's go
Mm.
into the first question. And I want to
Yeah.
know what inspired you to start this initiative focused on education in Gambia?
So basically, my own personal story and the story of my mom really inspired me to get into the advocacy and as well to set up my foundation. I was actually raised by a single mom. I lost my dad at a very young age, at 1 year of age. My mom single-handedly raised us, and I can see all the struggle that she went through in terms of getting us good quality education, in terms of getting us shelter and all of that. Personally, I have actually faced numerous of challenges growing up as a child. See how we can actually sustain ourselves. I got into petty trading with my siblings. It has not been easy, so I don't want other children to go through the same struggle that I did. So that actually really inspired me to get into the fight for to give access to make sure children get access to education.
That's very important. Education is like especially important in like children. I feel like in the United States we take like for granted education. And I love that you do fight for quality education and that you want children to go to school. And I want to know, how do you define quality education in schools?
So for me, quality education actually means like not just like going to school, because that's what usually people think education is all about being in a classroom. But it's important for people to realize that not every child is an academia. Every child is different. We have some child that are talented at the skills. So for me, quality education, it actually means once you learn something, you'll be able to put into practice and to be able to develop yourself into that, not just sitting in classroom and just learn ABC or science or whatever, but something that you can actually benefit from, develop yourself, and probably you can actually use the same knowledge to impact positive change in the life of other people as well.
Exactly. Education, I also like it because children, not everyone is the same. Everyone is academically different and everyone
Mhm.
has their own pace. Some people learn quicker than others, some people might take time. But as long as
Yeah.
it is getting the attention that they deserve in their education and that they're getting, the focus that they need, it will really benefit them a lot. So I love how you really do give them that space to grow their knowledge and further their education so they can become great people in the future. And but
Mhm.
you did touch on the beginning of the interview that there were challenges that you faced creating this initiative. And so, can you explain to us what are the biggest challenges students, or maybe you have faced building this initiative, or that maybe students face while going to school?
Well, so since your question actually fall into twofold, one from my side and one from the student, I will start from me. Um, so the challenges that I faced setting up the foundation, because I was really young, right, when I was actually setting it up. But though I have some background in advocacy before I quickly jumped to setting up the foundation, I have been in numerous organizations that actually mold me, right? Like Peace Ambassadors, the Gambia, Activista, and a lot of great organizations that I was actually in. But I just feel my passion is actually on education, right? And then I needed to find an organization that is specialized only on education issues. And I couldn't find that, right? So, and then I decided to set up a foundation. But it has been setting it up was really challenging for the fact that when you mention the name foundation, people expect so much. People expect like you have whole lot of money to giving it out, and then since this one is charity, obviously the expectation from the people and what actually happened on the ground is different. I want to change. I want to add my voice. I want to add the little that I have to make sure people have access to education, to make sure I add my voice to the fight against inequality in education. But not the fact that I am actually rich. I'm all that foundation that actually give like huge money or philanthropies that give huge money to people to have access to education. I have my voice. My voice is my most powerful tool that I can actually use to impact people's lives and as well to add positive change in the life of people. And then yeah, setting it up again, finding strong team to stand by you and also to understand your passion in what you do. It's actually a very, very challenge part. And then as well as finding to run some activities because in as much as you want to create a positive change, there are some things you cannot just sit on the internet to talk about. You have to reach to the people that are then need to be beneficiary to your programs, right? So there are certain actions that actually need funding for them to be running. So I actually face quite a lot of challenge in that part. So it's a lot, but I'm just going to point out these three. So in terms of the students' perspective as well, I mean, it's difficult because some parents actually think, for example, like girls' education is not really all that important, right? Sometimes we talk about parents, but sometimes as well, some children don't feel like they need to go to school. They feel like school is not really for them and they are not just passionate about education or going to school. So those are actually very, very challenging, like you're fighting for the right of someone and the person is not really willing to comply, so it's really, really challenging. And then also sometimes I feel like I really need to diversify to get to reach to the remote communities to do most of this because that's where sometimes most of these programs occur. And sometimes it's a challenge. It's a really a challenge for the fact that if it is a girl child, it's really a challenge to convince some parents to get their children to school. Sometimes it's not about enrolling the children to school. Sometimes it's about maintaining, sustaining, making sure those children are getting the best out of school, not just wearing uniform to go to school, but we want to see the impact in those children. But a child going to school or working long distance and have a lot of house chores to do, have a lot of activities to do, that child will not be able to have so much concentration on the education. So it's a whole lot of challenges actually. But yeah, let's just summarize it this way.
No, I get what you mean on both sides. I feel like with foundation, of course, you're expected a lot. People expect you to do a lot. It's honestly amazing that you have succeeded above that and created a really great foundation for children to have quality education. To like, of course, financial problems at home. Some children need to work. Some people, it's just different situations that children might not be able to go to school. So attendance really does matter and it's a challenge in some situations. But I love that you help students, grow their education. And I know that,
Because that actually happened to me when I was going to school. Like I mentioned earlier, I was into petty trading. So I do go to do petty trading before going to school. And sometimes I do it after I close from school. I do study, but I have limited time to study. But if I don't also do the petty trading, I won't be able to go to school because I won't be able to my mom cannot do everything. She was like struggling. I mean, to raise like nine of us. So it was really challenging. And she does not have like formal education. She also depends on the petty trading. So we have to actually assist each other and see how we can actually balance to make sure we get the right education that we need and as well as we survive. So I really understand some of the root cause that some children actually face in making sure because not everybody will have the strength or the passion to do board going for petty trading, going to school, the energy is not there. You have to get so tired. So it's a whole lot. Like, I understand the situation
yes, and
because I've
exactly
been.
like exactly what you said, like your mom couldn't do it alone. She had like 9 children, and you also had to help with like home as well. So children who are in those circumstances, it is harder. But like you said, you practiced, you kept going, and you were determined to get your education. And that really pushed your drive to want to help children too, because a lot of people and a lot of children have the minds, they are very smart, they have the capabilities. It's just that push that they need to continue and further it. And I do want to touch on your organization, and I want to know, how does your organization specifically address gaps in education, educational quality, or access?
So, actually, one thing we try to do because, like, the organization is based in Gambia. So, in as much as we are into education, we cannot leave the ministry that is actually responsible for basic education. So it's actually one thing that we try to work with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education because we are just a foundation and then try to do some advocacy. But in terms of policy issues, we that's actually the best ministry that we can reach out to. So we try to address the situation by partnering with the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, and as well as partnering with our organization as well to collaborate and do some meaningful impact. We do again a lot of programs like spelling bee. We actually conduct a spelling bee this to and so we encourage students to stay in school, build their capacity, vocabulary, critical thinking. And then we also do school and community outreaches, right? We reach out to students to have dialogue with them so we can actually understand some of the challenges that students actually face. And then we also the community outreach purposely it's for to get the parents' perspective about their child education and the whole about overall about the education system in the Gambia and how we can actually tackle it together and fight together. Because I cannot just sit in my room or with my team and we just think about we have to do this work and then this is how we're supposed to do it, or this is the right way we have to do it. We definitely need to understand that there are stakeholders involved, right? And then everyone has each role to play. So getting to all those stakeholders would be able to help us identify our problems more in details and come up with possible solution to tackle those challenges. So
Exactly.
we have activities to make sure we add our voice in the fight against inequality in education.
That's really good. And you have, I also love that you got the community in there as well, local communities, so they can help, help you with your mission as well. And I know like you might have touched on this like when you were speaking, but I want to go
Mhm.
deeper into it. Like, how did you engage or how did you get local communities, parents, or educators in the development of your programs?
So for the community people, we actually reach out to them directly first before like setting up the meeting. We reach out to the head of the community,
Mhm.
explain our purpose, our vision, what we actually want, and who we want us to get. So they actually been helpful, right? They are always helpful to our requests, and then the people, the head of the community, make sure they mobilize the people, the parents, to make sure they attend the meeting. So once that is done, then the meeting connected, and then we just have discussion together with the whole community. So it's not like we go there and have straight conversation with the whole community. It's like a planning stage. We reach out to the head first, we plan together, we brainstorm, we make sure we got the right people at the platform to talk to. Yeah.
That's good. Like you also have like communication is really well too. Like you communicate your ideas and you guys equally have, might disagree or agree, but in the end of the day, you are creating a plan that can help be successful and help drive the foundation further and also get local communities and educators and, parents involved as well in the mission. But I want to know,
Crucial. Like when you're doing this kind of advocacy, it's very, very crucial to you for people to understand that community and parents play a vital role, right? Because the children are like they're at school. Let's say if they're at school, they are back to the community. But parents also have a say. Some of them actually know the kind of children they have. Usually, teachers don't actually have time or they don't. I don't know for other countries, but for Gambia, not all teachers are like so observant to children activities to understand that this one is a slow learner, this one is not a slow learner. So usually, these some of these things are really detected by the parents. So once you have like dialogue with them, you realize that there are a lot of problems that comes out, right? And then needs to be solved. So just doing the advocacy online and then reaching out to ministry and then reaching out to just to school. To me personally, I don't think is really sufficient. If you want to get the best results, you have to involve all the stakeholders that are involved in education sector. Yeah.
That's really important as well. Especially teachers play a really key role in the educational like
Right.
foundation for a child. And so
Mhm.
if the teacher's not observing that, okay, this child might be a slow learner or needs more time, then you really aren't helping the ch like child out in their educational journey. So it's really nice that you talk to parents and really tell and that you get the like direct insight, okay, like my child is not the best at learning alphabets, but is good at math. And you can build that child's foundation up and help them have a better and maybe easier too as well. Of course, easier at like educational journey. But I want to know the success of your foundation because I know you've had so much success and have such a big impact in these children's lives. And so, can you share a success story that reflects the impact of your work on a student or school?
Yeah, so I didn't actually mention our mentorship program, but let me just say our mentorship program, the teen mentorship program, is one of the most successful activities that my foundation ever conducted, and the spelling bee. I'm so proud about the mentorship program because we touched the life of people directly. We tried to change the stereotype, and which we did. We also the foundation also making sure people, especially young people, especially young women, have the voice, and then would be their self-esteem were really, really boosted.
Mm.
Because we have seen so many young girls that are passionate about a fields, most of the fields that are dominated by men, right? Usually what they need is the mentorship to give them those kind of courages. So the mentorship program actually helped most of these girls to get into those fields. I'm so proud of them. I'm so glad that most of them are really doing incredible work. Like I have one of my mentees, there's like Fatimata Trawale. She's doing incredible. I have like Fatsila, just to mention a few of them that, it was really challenging for them to follow their passion because of the society, because of the family concept about the kind of career that they want to pursue. And the mentorship program actually give them the different mindset that they definitely have to go. They cannot just limit themselves because of the perspective of parent or perspective of family or community as well. And I'm so glad that they are doing incredible work in those fields. I mean, most of the mentees are doing amazing, amazing, amazing job. Looking at their profile now, what they have achieved, and sometimes they reach out to the foundation to say it's because of the foundation. That's why I was able to have this courage. So to me, that's a huge, that's huge because we impacted their life directly, and then be making sure we are creating the positive change. So in terms of the spelling bee as well, it was success, right? I at some point I feel so emotional, like at the end of the spelling bee when I had some student, I mean the some kids have to drop out of the competition and they were crying. I felt that. And I really wish we could really, really we have enough funding to be able to do this competition to continue. But it's something that it's like dream of the foundation to make sure we do it every year. Because other children, when they see their favorite children on the TV or on the stage doing those kind of activities, they feel the courage to do so as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then I also like the fact that we actually enroll some children to school to make sure they are not a victim of dropout, to make sure some people are not subjected to forced marriage. So it's whole lot of impact the foundation has created.
I love that you help encourage children to continue it. I feel
Yeah.
that, trust me, it's very emotional when I lose a competition because it's like, oh my gosh, I was close to
I
like
know.
guys. But I hope it encouraged them to work harder and, practice more and like to be really good because that's a part of failure. It teaches you how to be, to fix those cracks in maybe, especially in math for me, whenever I don't know a problem, I keep practicing different problems so I can understand maybe that concept of math. So in general, even if they lose, they will still learn and become better. And next year they'll even win the like spelling bee. And I love that you also encourage women as well and girls to step into roles that maybe men would be in job areas because I know a lot of the time girls aren't given enough attention in their education, I feel. And I love that you push that on them, that you give them the source of encouragement. Because I know a lot of the times forced marriages and some cultural beliefs do get in the way of that. So I love that you give them the space and also help create an environment that they can continue furthering their education. But knowing that we are in a world of technology and AI, can you explain like what role do technology and digital learning play in your efforts to improve education?
Well, so especially in terms of the AI thing, since I think AI has been introduced long since ago, but it just come to the spotlight not long ago in my perspective. That I think a lot of people just get to know it recently, and then I mean, in terms of the technology part, it's something that my foundation is really trying to get involved to make sure the children have access to all this. But technology part is something a challenge for my foundation part because those ones are not something you can just voice out to like that. It
Right,
requires a lot of technical issues, right? So those are something that we have a plan and then we are actually working on, but it's not something that we have actually started working on because, like I said, it's a technical side. So, but sometimes it has actually positive impact and it also has negative impact, especially in terms of the AI thing that is actually making some students not to use their brain now to do some particular work. So those are things that, even if you advocate for it, even if you like start talking about it on the internet or whatever, it will have impact, right? But the impact might be bit small. So these are areas where, it's a technical area. We have to you cannot just rush into it like that. So you have to put some plans to make sure if you want to receive positive result at the end of the day, but not just for the sake of doing it because other people are doing it. So in that regards, I would say it's a technical part that we are not really into yet. Yeah.
exactly. Oh, I can fully understand if you definitely want to stay away from AI. I see it full hand how kids would just use AI, especially in their homeworks, to get the answers and not use their brains at all. It's terrifying to see that it's growing and it's becoming more freer to use in a lot of areas around the world. So it's better that children stay away from technology, I feel like, with their education, because it doesn't really help them think. It doesn't really help them challenge their minds. And so I believe that truly AI and technology can be good, but it wouldn't, in some instances, it can be bad for education as well. So I definitely agree
Yeah.
with you on that. But I do want to take a quick break and tell the audience out there who are listening, please go support.
It's Salimatou Foundation for Education.
Mhm.
So we're on Facebook, TikTok. Yeah. IG, it's X, yeah, not X as well.
Yes, please go support her foundation. It's absolutely fantastic. And please go check out the World is Your Bowl Noodles on all platforms as well. As well, please help children as well. And I know there's a many foundations as well that helping children get quality education in Africa and all over the world. So please go check them out and as well as Salimato's foundation as well on Instagram. But let's get back into it. And I want to know, what are your long-term visions for education in Gambia, and how can others, especially young people, get involved or support the cause?
So first, in terms of the long term, I just want to see every child realize their full potential, right? I just want to see an avenue whereby children of all different types will be able to have access to good quality education and then realize their full potential. I don't really want to see child outside, just not doing anything, not going to school, not doing something productive for their lives. And then in terms of the technology side as well, like we mentioned earlier, it has both positive and it also has negative impact. But in the long run, I just want children to use it in a very smart way that can actually boost their productivity, and then they will be able to support themselves and then create a lot of impact in their lives and lives of other people as well, and not to actually use it in negative perspective. And then in terms of what's the next question again? In terms of how young people can support education?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I just want people not to be, especially young people, not to be so selfish with their own development, but seeing it as their sole responsibility to make sure once they achieve something, they know that other children out there are actually facing a lot of challenges. So I just want to see young people adding their voices to the fight against inequalities in education, to make sure every child has right to education, good quality education, and every to make sure every child realize their full potential to add to the development of the country as well.
Exactly. Everyone does have the voice to stand out and make their voices heard. And especially in this time that we are in, we have so many resources that we can use that young people can share their stories all over the world and just grow this impact. Because I know quality education doesn't just stop in Gambia. It's all over the world in China, in Africa, in Europe, and even America too. So children deserve that education and deserve to further and become great leaders in the future. But it all starts with making their voices heard and the young people as well to project and say, this is what we need, and this is what we want, and this is what we need to continue and further help children in their education. But thank you so much for just being here. And before we do end this interview, I always like to ask people a little funny question, and I want to know, what is your favorite bowl of noodles?
Is that for me?
Yeah.
Because I know the broadcast is about bowls of noodles or something like that,
hmm
right? I don't think I have favorites. I think anyone, anything, especially it's something that has spice, it's fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
spaghetti or like Indomie.
And I understand. Because there are a lot of Indonesia in Gambia. I don't know but there are a lot of Indomies, but there are some that are nice. That are some. Mm, I have no choice.
No, I get what you mean though. I love Indomies because I grew up with eating that and but also I love spaghetti and the American noodles too. So it's I feel like
I didn't actually grow up like eating Indomie like that, so I cannot really say much on it. I cannot really identify. There's one that is actually written on. It's like noodles, right? The name is just noodles. I think among all the Indomies that I have seen, that one I like that one, right?
Mhm.
But I'm not really that super fan. Like someone that actually spent her childhood like eating Indomie like all the children in the West. Now I don't have that opportunity. So, but once I was growing up, I was introduced to Indomie. So I just like the one that's named like noodles. That's
just
yeah,
just
but not like I have like that kind of favorite thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Indomie, it's some people like it, some people don't, but you know, it's okay. I feel like, noodles, I don't eat it as much, but I love different types of noodles. So I'm up and down with types of noodles. But thank you so much, Mrs. Salimatou. You are very just educational. Just everything about you is splendid and your foundation is super good. And just thank you so much for being here on the Noodle Pod. And thank you for just making your voice heard and allowing the children to have quality education in Gambia.
I'm glad to be here. I know this is something that we have been planned for so long. we could we couldn't have make it happen. I'm so glad it's happened finally, and I'm so inspired by your passion for this as well. Looking at your age, and the impact that you are doing is really, I'm really inspired. I'm really, really inspired. So I'm just gonna say thank you so much and keep up the great work. And I hope to see you in one of the biggest event around the world, talking to people about their own ideas about how we can change the world. Keep it
Yes.
up.
Thank you so much. And hopefully we can. I one day want to meet you in a grand, like amazing convention of just beautiful change makers and leaders.
That's gonna happen, and we come in, we will do that, and then and that's going to happen, and we will do that interview again on this podcast.
Thank you so much, Miss Salimatou. Have a wonderful day.